Welcome to the Country Hipster Podcast. I'm going to take care of business first because that's what we do here on the Country Hipster Podcast. We take care of business. The music you just heard was none other than the Unholy Four with their mega hit song Dirty Knife. Check them out on Bandcamp and Spotify and wherever you can find the Unholy Four. Real quick, 1027, as we said last week on last week's episode, the Ottsville Record Garage is holding a wine and vinyl pop-up night at Wycombe Vineyards in Bucks County, PA.
Can we start referring to it just as Winyl?
Winyl? I was thinking about that. That'd be actually kind of cool. So if you got nothing going on Friday, 1027, it's October 27th for those who don't speak in numbers, 5 to 9 p.m., Wycombe Vineyards. We'll be drinking some wine. We'll be spinning some records. We're going to have some giveaways. It's going to be a good time, so come out for that. I have a couple solo shows this weekend as well. On Friday the 13th, I am playing at Bitchin' Kitten Brewery in Morrisville, PA from 5 to 8. I've never been to the brewery, and this is my first time playing there, so I'm pretty excited about that. It is their anniversary weekend, their second anniversary, I believe.
It is their second.
It is their second.
Excellent beer, too. I love that place.
Nice. Cool. Looking forward to trying that out in Morrisville, PA. Bitchin' Kitten Brewery. I'll be there from 5 to 8. And then on Saturday, I will be second Saturday, the Horse at Sowersville from 5 to 9 p.m. So, first, to my left, now that we've gotten through the business, is my brother and co-host Adam, the Country Gigolo. Because anytime we are at a family party, there is no less than 3 women that Adam has slept with in the room and procreated with a few of them.
I don't like the fact that you prefaced it with saying family party and then go into how I've slept with 3 of them.
Well, it does, but it is not untrue.
It is not untrue. That's correct, but there was no blood relation to any of them besides the children I have with 2 of them.
There you go. To my right is the official bartender of the Country Hipster Podcast. We welcome back our friend Tom Bernhard. Did I say it right?
Bernhard, yeah.
Bernhard,
I don't know why you always got to make it complicated.
Because I complicate
phonetic.
things.
It's so easy.
I know, but you know. I have a learning disability. That's what it is.
Clearly.
And we would be remiss if we did not give a happy birthday to Tom, who had his birthday on Friday, was it? Yes. So happy birthday, Tom.
Thank you.
Which means, if Tom is here, that we are here for a Booze and Vinyl episode. There it is. This one is out of Booze and Vinyl Volume 2. Now, little caveat to this. So
it's like Booze and Vinyl adjacent.
Yes. So we are doing Elvis Costello's Spike, and in Booze and Vinyl Volume 2 is not any drink recipes on Elvis Costello's Spike. However, there are recipes based on Elvis Costello and the Attractions this year's model. The reason we're doing this is, number one, we like having Tom in the garage. It's always a good time. Number two, we are a drinking podcast now, so we got to keep up with our drinking themes as well as our vinyl record themes. And number three, as much as I like the album this year's model, I, number one, don't own it. And number two, I don't know that it would make it onto... It definitely wouldn't have made it on my 25 for this season. And I doubt I'll buy it before next season. And if I did, I'm not going to put it on like next season. I'm probably not going to talk about this year's model. So this is... So what we're doing is with some of these drinks is like if we have a band that we like... and their drink is in here and it's something that gets pulled, well, we're going to do a Booze and Vinyl. Instead of just waiting for that specific album, we actually just talked about one of the bands that's in here. And I was like, well, that actually will probably be on my list for next season. Yeah. So, so we're kind of taking some liberties there, but this is Booze and Vinyl Volume 2 by Andre Darlington and Tanaya Darlington. I believe all of the recipes we've had so far were out of Volume 1, which if you look at our book reviews, you would find out that we are big fans of Volume 1. And
aside from that fucking one with the absinthe in it.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty bad.
Which I was just telling Tom, I forget which one I just saw, but there's another drink somewhere in the mix that calls for absinthe.
Oh, yeah.
So,
a couple of them.
Yeah.
It's just a dash, but...
but still. Yeah, no, well, you actually drank... That was on the Smiths episode, right? Yeah, and you drank, like, all 3 of the drinks.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was rough, though.
That was fun. So, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna make some drinks about Elvis Costello and attractions, this year's model, but we're talking about Elvis Costello's Spike. And, Elvis Costello leapt onto the radar in 1977, all Buddy Holly glasses and all. Yeah, there you go. That's all I'm going to say right now. And our first drink is going to be called Pumped, PUMP''D, based on the song Pump It Up, by Costello's romping, stomping single makes us thirsty for Amaro spiked root beer float. We did just have dinner, so it is, I guess, fitting that we would have a root beer float after that. So looking forward to that whenever you want to get to it, sir.
I'm also a fan of the. I looked up and realized that the ice cream is perfectly in frame. So.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Yes. It's funny. I'm actually not particularly a fan of root beer floats.
Really?
Oh, do we need spoons?
I mean,
Yeah, we'll just drink it.
wouldn't
Fuck
hurt,
it.
But yeah, you'll probably be okay.
Yeah, we'll figure. We got hands.
They're gonna melt.
So, excuse me. So, as I said, we are here to talk about Elvis Costello's Spike. So, I didn't set the timer. Hold on, I gotta set the timer now. I know I'm like going off on a tangent already, but we got a couple things going on. We're very excited here because the Phillies are in the National League Divisional Series. They're in Game 2 right now against the Atlanta Braves. And
Dog shit Atlanta Braves
the
and their
dog
dog
shit
shit fan base.
There you go. And I believe right now the Phillies are up 4-1, so that is exciting. I think we've talked about before. Adam brought over the cookbook. What is it? Binging with Babish?
Binging with Babish.
Yes. Binging with Babish, where they do recipes based on movies and television shows. And I made Mr. and Mrs. Tennemore chili tonight from South Park. And I can't tell you guys what the secret ingredient is, but
it was delicious.
It was delicious. So yes, there's a lot going on, and I didn't set the timer. So now we have our hour-and-a-half timer going. So we're good. So on to the factoids. Tom will probably be rather happy with us. Yeah. All right. So, Elvis Costello is the 12th studio album from Elvis Costello.
Spike.
And
you said Elvis
Costello.
Is
yes. I'm sorry. I am off to a bad start. Elvis Costello Spike is the 12th studio album from Elvis Costello and the first without the attractions since My Aim Is True, which came out in 1977. I think he had a total of, I think he's had more, but I know he had My Aim Is True and then 2 other solo albums in the early 90s, one of them being Spike, which I think actually came out in 1989. This is the first album for Elvis Costello on the Warner Brothers label, and it...
Can I pause you for that?
Yeah.
I love how Tom always tries to be quiet with the things that he's doing. Because he was talking about how one of the drinks tonight needs to be shaken. And he's like, there might be a little bit of noise. We've literally had a blender running on this fucking podcast.
And it works well.
Just trying to be respectful of you guys, that's all.
It is all good. We appreciate it. If you are nothing else, Tom, you are respectful.
That's true.
There you
Fuck
go.
the Braves.
Yes, fuck the Braves.
Oh, is that the fucking color of that shit?
Yeah, it is. It's going to be pretty.
It was a different color.
I was assuming like a brownish color, not fucking orange.
Yeah, that's going to be good. All right. So yes, this is the first album on the Warner Brothers label, and it peaked at number 5 on the UK charts and number 32 on the Billboard 200 thanks to the hit song Veronica, which reached 19 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 on the U.S. Modern Rock charts. So in 1997, Elvis Costello began writing with my arch nemesis, stealer of my name, Paul McCartney. And for the album Flowers in the Dirt, which is a Paul McCartney album, which features... So Flowers in the Dirt, I know that Elvis Costello and Paul McCartney did this whole writing session where they got together and they were basically brainstorming and coming up with these songs. 4 of the co-written songs, the compilation songs, ended up on Flowers in the Dirt by Paul McCartney, including his hit song from that, My Brave Face, whereas on Spike there's only 2 songs that were co-written by Paul McCartney, and that being Veronica and Pads, Paws, and Claws. I do think on, I know there's at least one other song that went through the co-writing session there.
Now that you say that those,
ended up
those
on
were
the
the two
next one.
songs co-written by Paul McCartney.
that are on this album.
It
yes.
makes perfect sense because those are like the two poppiest fucking songs on the album, I feel like.
Yeah. Another co-writer on this album on the song "Baby Plays Around" is a friend of the podcast, Kate O'Riordan, who was married to Elvis Costello, but also former bassist of the Pogues. And we talked about that on the "Fall from Grace with God" episode, where basically her and Elvis Costello were basically falling in love, and she just disappeared when they were ready to go on tour because she ran off with Elvis Costello. This album, Spike, was produced by two people, Kevin Killen, who is best known for work with U2, David Bowie, and Bon Jovi, and the incredible and wonderful T-Bone Burnett. There are too many bands to mention that he's worked with because there's just so many goddamn bands besides Elvis Costello. He's also won 16 Grammys to go along with that.
Jesus.
He also has won a Golden Globe and an Academy Award for Best Original Song from the movie Crazy Heart. So, it's kind of a
Crazy
cool...
Heart's the one with
Jeff Daniels?
with the
Not
dude.
Jeff Daniels. Is it Jeff Daniels?
No, it's the one with the dude. What's the dude's name?
Jeff Bridges.
The dude,
Bridges,
Jeff Bridges.
there you
There, I knew it was a Jeff.
Jeff Daniels is Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
There you go. Yes. Oh, did you just bring in spoons?
Yeah.
You did.
I come prepared, buddy.
Veronica is the big hit on this album, which notably co-writer Paul McCartney not only co-wrote the song, but on the recording.
I don't want to finger fuck your spoon, so I figure you guys can
Thank
grab
you.
your own.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Not only does Paul McCartney co-write the song, but he plays on the recording on his iconic Hofner bass. And the song itself was inspired by Elvis Costello's grandmother's struggles with Alzheimer's. It's not directly about her, but it is definitely inspired from her. But of course, this album, in true Elvis Costello fashion, has a couple of protest songs. "Let It Dangle" being one of them, which is a anti-capital punishment song, and "Tramp the Dirt Down," which is an anti-Margaret Thatcher song. So, yay Margaret Thatcher. Or no, yay
Yay that
Margaret
she
Thatcher.
died.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Twat.
This album, went gold in both the UK and the US. And
What if we get like a weird reputation? It's like we're a vinyl podcast,
we fucking hate the
a
English.
drinking podcast, and an anti-Margaret Thatcher podcast.
Inviting an Irish guy on, and you're gonna get a lot of fucking anti-English sentiment. I'm sorry.
I know. So those are the main factoids about this album. Before we start getting into feelings, because we do talk about feelings also on this podcast, let's talk about these fucking drinks here. So, could you hand me the book there, please?
Yeah, I don't know what you would describe this color as, but it's unsettling.
It is a weird color. It's
Yeah.
like a
Diddy chili. This is what you're.
You know what it looks
You're
like?
gonna see this color tomorrow.
Yours
I think.
is
Probably.
yours looks like it's not mixing.
It's yeah, because
but
okay.
yeah,
So
I'll get there.
but it looks very like it has a very like apple cider color to it.
Okay, I mean that's
a little
what I
bit,
mean.
yeah. I think I've seen
One
this
way to
color
describe that
in
color.
Regina's diaper.
Yeah.
But this is basically an Amaro spiked root beer float. You take this diner staple and amp it up with an Italian liqueur, and we love to use. I don't know how to say these words, so I'm not going to say it. But yeah, so basically what we have here is an adult alcoholic root beer float.
So I used Aperol. We were actually doing a little research, Adam and I. Apparently, Aperol is a type of Amaro.
Ooh.
There's a whole bunch of different varieties. I had Aperol handy. If you're ever drinking Aperol straight up, it's not an enjoyable experience.
This is enjoyable.
It needs sweetness to it. So yeah, I guess with the ice cream and the root
Yeah.
beer. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is nice.
Not bad at all.
This almost tastes like how you like old time candy. Mm-hmm. This tastes like an old time candy.
Yeah.
They made it bitter for some reason.
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh, oh, this is good. It definitely, and actually, like I feel like it almost tastes like birch beer as opposed to root beer. You know, like the Pennsylvania Dutch have that, like have the birch beer, and then A&W, which is what we use, which is the superior root beer.
I was just about to ask if you guys go root beer. What is your root beer of choice?
Virgil's.
Virgil's.
I like A&W.
I'll spend the $8 on the 4-pack because that shit is good.
I usually go Barks.
I like Barks too.
Yeah.
Nah. Like if I'm going out, I'll get like a Hanks or a what the fuck or Stewart's.
Yeah.
But But no, these are this. I generally go A&W just for like.
They have a Stewart's near you?
I've gotten Stewart's, but
there was one like a mile from my house, and it's gone now. It's a like a chicken joint. Saddens me.
I like chicken joints.
Oh, they have good food too.
Is it Crown Fried Chicken?
It's called Manny's Fried Chicken.
Manny's Fried Chicken. Okay.
Single, like, family-owned little place in Lawrence, New Jersey, and they make everything to order. The food's excellent.
Yeah, no, this is really good. Another winning drink, I think.
I don't remember the last time I had a root beer float, but this is good. This is fucking good.
I don't remember either.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not really into root beer floats, so yeah. So I'm gonna keep eating this while you're chugging there. But Adam, what are your thoughts now that we got through the factoids? Man, we're going through this. Maybe I should get the business faster.
Yeah.
I don't know.
My thoughts on the album is it's a hard meh for me.
Wow. What was the other one which was a hard meh for you?
I think it was the Hooters.
The Hooters? Okay.
I was texting Katai, telling her what I was listening to, and she's like, "How is it?" And I said the best way to describe it is unoffensive and unremarkable.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It didn't like. I remember you saying how usually
it's definitely unoffensive.
Usually I take my least favorite song as my least memorable, and you were saying how your least favorite song isn't your least memorable because you want your least favorite song to make you feel something.
Yeah, I want to have a reaction to it. Yep.
Yeah, it took me. First time I listened to it, I had a song for my top 3. After the 4th or 5th time listening to it, I remembered enough songs to pick a second for my top 3.
Okay.
And then on the way up here today, which was probably like my 9th or 10th time listening to it, I was able to, originally going into this, before I left for Paulson, I had 2.5 for my top 3.
Oh, okay.
Now I have 3.5.
Okay.
So just like I listened to the album and I was like, all right, I remember Veronica, but I don't remember any, like everything was just, it's kind of like how I remember when when we did the Smiths. I said I listened to it on the way home from here after recording.
Right.
And it would just all sounded like the same fucking song to me. That's how this was. Although I listened to it a fuck ton of times and the majority of it still sounds like the same fucking song to me.
Okay.
So it's a hard meh for me.
Meh.
You were asking me last week to comment on whether or not I thought the album sounded dated.
Yes.
I guess.
Really?
Yeah.
See, okay, so I don't like definitely the Hooters was dated, and there was another like parts of In Excess were definitely dated. I don't feel this album is dated.
You know this reminds me of old horror movies. You ever watch like an old horror movie now, and you're like, oh, this isn't terrible at all, but like I'm sure back when they came out, they were like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That's how I feel like this album was. Like I feel like when did this album come out? 70?
No, this album came out in 1989.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought it was. I must have misread something. Really fucked up. Then.
Well, this
that was from
the
70. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, but
I'm sure when this album came out, it was like, oh, what's he doing with all that, that weird Oregon shit going on. But,
okay, so all right. So
but for me now, it's just like whatever.
Here's what I'll say though is that like yes, for you who doesn't, I'm assuming you don't really know Elvis Costello. Besides,
this is the first Elvis Costello album I've ever listened to.
This album and the sound of this album fits in perfectly with Elvis Costello's catalog in general.
All right, so don't listen to more of Elvis Costello is what you're saying.
No, I'm saying you should listen to a lot more Elvis Costello. Jesus Christ. But no, so like I personally I don't find this album dated, but that's fine. We're all entitled to our wrong opinions.
And again, I don't think it's dated in the same way the Hooters is dated.
Right. No, I agree that. Yeah.
The Hooters just sounds very much of like I said when I was listening to it at Katai's the one time. I was like, if this album was made in any other year besides 1985, then I don't know what's wrong with the world.
Right.
And I looked it up and it was like 86. I'm like, all right, I was fucking close enough, or whatever year it was. It's not dated in that way.
Real quick, I think that drink's gonna give me heartburn.
Probably.
Yeah. But anyway, go on.
I don't think it's dated in that way. I think it's like one of those things where like at the time it was probably cutting edge and maybe like edgier than I think it is. Like I said, I don't find it very unoffensive.
It is very unoffensive. Yeah.
But I'm sure like maybe at the time it was like, oh man, he's saying some shit. he's saying fuck Margaret Thatcher. Like, and at this point, like the shit that I've listened to and like shit that I've shit that I enjoy and shit that I've heard, it like they've said way more. It's been way more edgier shit than what I imagine. Well, like when I think of Elvis Costello, like the thing that comes to mind is the fact that he got banned from Saturday Night Live.
Yes, and I actually have that on here.
But basically, what was he playing?
So
they told him not to play something, but he was like, I can't fucking do this, and he said, "Fuck you." And
so he was banned on SNL from like 1977, 78 until 1989 because he was. They told him play the song "Less Than Zero," which was like off of I think off of the album that this is this year's model, or I think it's off of this year's model. And he really didn't want to play Less Than Zero, so when they got up to play, they did like 10 seconds of Less Than Zero, and he stopped. He's like, this song doesn't work for here. And then went into radio.
If I'm not mistaken, he said, I don't see any reason why we should keep playing this song. Or something like that.
And then went right into radio, which is a very anti entertainment establishment.
A very anti-Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, I mean it's against like major media and stuff like that, and things of that sort. Definitely not necessarily like an offensive song, but it's definitely one of his faster, more upbeat songs. But so that got him banned from Saturday Night Live until 1989, where he came on and played Veronica. So, yes.
He also, I can't remember who was playing, but someone was playing, and he came out to join them, and like they started playing. He kind of came out and stopped them, gave his spiel about what he said before we started playing Radio, and then they kicked back into the song that they were currently playing. I can't remember who.
I don't know.
For some reason, I want to say it was Beastie Boys, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. Yeah, that I am not sure of. So,
yeah, it's just kind of meh to me.
Okay, all right. Tom, what did you think of this album?
My experience with this album is very similar to Adam's. I don't think that I'm smart enough to understand the genius of Elvis Costello.
Okay.
I listened to it maybe 4 times through. It took me 4 times to be able to tell songs apart because they really sound a lot alike, except for Veronica. That's the one that didn't really feel like it fit with the rest of the album. I don't know. It's weird. I don't love jazz music. I don't love classical music, and it seems like he draws a lot of influence in his music from that. It's like pop, classical, jazz, fucking weird stuff.
Some of his stuff, yeah, that's
like
for sure.
Well, this whole album.
Okay.
I don't have a ton of experience listening to Elvis Costello in general, so I'm indifferent on Elvis Costello to begin with. The album was okay. I don't see me ever listening to it again.
Okay.
Like, I'm not going to accidentally be like, oh, you know what? Let me just slap this record on real quick. I had a hard time figuring out. I was like trying to guess, like Adam sometimes does, where they break this for, because I was listening to it online. Where's the break from side A to side B? I was trying to figure that out. I still could not do it.
It is after Tramp the Dirt Down.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. That's the end of side 1 on there. Which real quick about Tramp the Dirt Down, as I saw in the wiki today, as I was doing the research, is that apparently Natalie Merchant from the 10,000 Maniacs and of course her solo career actually said at one point, she's like, I wish that I had written the song Tramp the Dirt Down, because that's how good she felt it was. So, and I love that song personally.
A little fun story. I was driving my son back to his mom's, and I put this album on. I had been listening to it earlier in the day, finished it while he was in the car, and he looked at the screen on my center console and goes, "This is Elvis?" And I was like, "Costello, different Elvis." I'm like, same first name, different last name.
Yes.
And he's like, "Oh," and then he just went back to fucking around on his tablet or whatever the hell he was doing. But
okay,
it was a little. I'm like, every once in a while I forget that like my oldest can read. My older son can read, because you always think of your kids. Like, I don't, for some reason in my head, like he'll read something and be like, "Oh fuck!" I'm like, he's in 2nd grade.
Yeah, I should probably be careful of what I'm putting on the.
Yeah, and it's like those things. Like I at this point I only have one kid that I can spell things in front of, so they don't understand what I'm talking about, and I always forget about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So for me, obviously, I have this on my 25. I do like this album. Veronica, the song Veronica is actually what introduced me originally to Elvis Costello. However, I will say that this is not my favorite Elvis Costello album.
I think you said if you had a different Elvis Costello.
Yes.
What was the one you said if you had? It would have
If
been.
I had Mighty Like a Rose in my collection, that would be the one that is on here over Spike. Overall, I think Mighty Like a Rose is a better album than Spike. There are a little few more dimensions to Mighty Like a Rose. Again, there is at least the one song that was co-written by Paul McCartney that ended up on Mighty Like a Rose. But I still love this album. However, I will say it's a strong side 1 and an okay side 2, with the exception of the song Baby Plays Around. So like after Tramp the Dirt Down, I kind of tone out a lot of the the second side of the album. It's just not as strong. It's again, I like it. But it's just, even the songs in general are just not as good. What the hell did I put here? This album, okay, so this album, because of Veronica and listening to it, led me to basically discover an artist who is one of my top 5 all-time favorite artists and all-time favorite singers, and like
Katy Perry.
Yes, but like I even spent my time like as like a teenager, like while writing songs and learning to sing, I tried to emulate the way that Elvis Costello sings.
It's funny that you say that, because as I was pulling into your driveway, I can't remember what song was playing, but as I'm pulling into your driveway, I'm thinking, this sounds like Paul.
Yeah, because
Agreed.
And it is funny because a lot of times I get told when I'm playing solo of people who have never seen me play before come up and they're like, "Oh, do you know any Cat Stevens?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can play some Cat Stevens," and it's always followed with, "You sound a lot like Cat Stevens."
You should tell them you don't know any Cat Stevens, but you know plenty of Yusef Islam.
Yeah, right. They probably look at me and go, "Huh?"
And be like, "What?"
Yeah, but it's funny that like, because I really did like, as like,
I just thought of your Black Cat
my
Stevens.
Black Cat Stevens thing. Yeah, exactly. Which I really think like when I'm playing Bitch and Kitten, I might just have to like come out in a whole Black Cat fucking outfit and be like Black Cat Stevens playing Bitch and Kitten Brewery. But
you should just do some like straight up Cats makeup, just like come out like Mr. Mistopheles, and just fucking.
It might have to work. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if I actually have time for that shit this week anyway.
You fucking make time, dude.
But no, I definitely did like try to emulate the way he sings and honestly the passion that I feel. Excuse me, Elvis sings with, and it helped me. The one of the things I love about him as a singer is that he can go real low and he can go real high as well, and that impressed me. And you know, it's what I tried to train myself to do. I don't know that I totally did it, but you know, I tried. Did either of you guys notice in the first song on the album, This Town.
This town.
Yes, has almost the same exact beginning of Prince's When Doves Cry.
I did not know.
Yeah, it's like.
Oh yeah,
and it's like I even went back, like I noticed it like when we went to listen to this again, like after we pulled it, I went to do it and I was just like, oh wait a minute, let me listen to this again. And I'm starting to listen to it and I'm like, oh shit, this really does like sound like When Doves Cry. So when I was putting my notes together today, I went and I played like the two of them like side by side. I was like, oh yeah, there's definitely a similarity in the opening beats there, which I thought was kind of cool.
That's fun.
So, yeah, I did. I thought it was cool. So
I was just thinking, did I mention where my first exposure to Elvis Costello was?
No.
Austin Powers 2, The Spy Who Shagged Me. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Burt Bacharach, Elvis Costello.
Yes. See, that's one of the things I love about Elvis Costello, because he also has like a cameo in Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
You know, which if you see the director's cut, that whole scene's a little bit longer. But
yeah.
like when he comes in, he's like, there's Mos Def and Elvis Costello, and he's like, why are you having lunch with Mos Def and Elvis Costello?
Yeah.
And they're just looking at each other like, who is this guy? But no, I like Elvis Costello for reasons like that as well. He came from like a performing family. Like his father was like a performer growing up. Like that's what he did for a living, and he was on a lot of like television in England and stuff like that, and which is kind of cool. But we have another drink. We are moving right along in this podcast.
Yeah. Real quick, I told Paul that I had a really good joke to tell in the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Tom, I'm sure as you were aware from listening to past episodes, Paul and mine's father passed away, and his wishes were to be cremated. But we recently found a thing that said actually he wanted his remains to then be pressed into a record. It was his vinyl request. Right? It's topical because our dad's dead.
That's bad. Skipper. So yes, we have another drink. This how would you say that?
Sybarite?
Sybarite?
I fucking don't know.
The Sybarite is a self-indulgent person who enjoys luxury, which is probably me.
That's Paul.
Yeah. Costello's song, I Don't Want to Go to Chelsea, describes a pleasure-seeking neighborhood that just might be London's Chelsea, or New York's for that matter. We've taken this as inspiration for a riff on a Chelsea sidecar. Have you ever made a Chelsea sidecar? Which apparently...
Absolutely not.
...is a cocktail that replaces brandy in that recipe with gin. Okay? You'll be hooked and it will make you cooler than plain sidecar drinkers. Just don't get too snobby about it. Sidecar sounds like something that fucking hipsters would drink down in Fishtown. Or country hipsters at the Ottsville Record Garage.
Yeah, it's basically a brandy and ginger ale. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you got the Tanqueray.
Yeah, so that's on loan from the establishment where I am employed.
Oh, okay.
Because
nice.
I didn't have a bottle of gin at home, but I was like, I'm going to borrow this, and then, yeah.
I probably had one upstairs, but this works too.
Yeah, that'll be returned tomorrow.
There you go.
For the record,
or will it?
For the record,
Sybarite
is how it's pronounced.
Yeah, I'm not a gin. I like gin, but I'm very particular about the gin that I like, and Tanqueray is not it.
No?
No.
See, actually, I'm a fan of Tanqueray.
I like Beefeater if I'm doing London dry gin, but I've been drinking, there's an Irish one that I've been buying called Drumshambo.
Ah.
And it is a gunpowder gin. So one of the botanicals they use is gunpowder tea. Ooh. And it is outstanding, and it is smooth. It's fantastic.
Okay. I will
Highly
have
recommend
to check that out. I'll check it out. So here's the book, sir.
I'm on it.
Here's the book. So I have a couple close-ish encounters with Elvis Costello.
Doesn't surprise me.
Well, not really that closest. But
is this like a close encounter, like when you ran into the dude from American Pickers in an elevator, or like when you almost slept with Katie Holmes?
Halfway
in between.
Somewhere in between. No, not really. But like, so I actually saw Elvis Costello twice in concert. Both times were in the 90s. The first time I saw him, which was actually one of my first concerts, was in 1991, and the opening band was the Replacements.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. It was at the Mann Music Center. I went with this dude who I went to high school with, and one of his friends. Again, my main exposure to Elvis Costello was more Veronica. I didn't delve that deeply into his back catalog yet. I think I had already been listening to Mighty Like a Rose. Excuse me, and that was actually the tour that we saw him on in 1991, was the Mighty Like a Rose tour. But one of the coolest things there, and that's one of the reasons why I was super excited about going to that concert, was because the Replacements were the opening band.
Yeah.
And that might have actually been like one of the Replacements' last tour, if not their last tour. And then when I saw him in 1994, the day before my high school graduation, I went with Tom, Apology Tom, and the opening band was none other than, and I don't know if you'll remember them, you might remember them, the Crash Test Dummies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they did that song.
I have a friend who's a huge fan of them. Me, I couldn't be bothered with them, but
they have a couple good songs. That,
yeah, they're not terrible.
No, they're not terrible. Well, apparently that song has like 15 verses to it that they basically just put down to 3. When they did it live.
Wait, are you talking about the one that was in the movie Matilda?
I don't know.
Like
No,
no, that's not that.
No.
Then I don't. Maybe I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't
I know
think
the name, but I don't know what song you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like the guy with the really deep voice. Once there was a girl who... No?
You not remember? How do you,
I
that
know-
song
Well,
was...
it was probably like when he was being born.
6 years old.
I said, I know the name. I know the band
Busy
name.
having children. He
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, what year were you born?
90.
Okay, so that,
100%.
so
Yeah,
that
he
would
was
have been
4.
94. So, you were definitely like 3 kids in
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the Crash Test Dummies.
At least 3 that I knew of.
Yes,
Right.
exactly, Mr. Country Gigolo. But yeah, so I got to see them twice. You okay there, Tom?
I'm thinking.
I
need a knife, but I have plastic. I'm gonna hack this fucker.
You're gonna hack it?
Here.
Good.
All right, we got this kind of knife.
Is it clean?
No,
Cleanish.
Clean enough?
clean
Okay.
enough. All right, it's country hipster clean. So.
Okay.
Excuse me, which doesn't say, well, we're waiting for these drinks, so I'm going to need another beer. I was very happy to find yesterday, it's probably going to be my last 6-pack of the 21st Amendment Hell or High Water Man. I was able to find it at the pizza shop that we got pizza from last night. I'm gonna turn on to one of your Brooklyns. Do you need one?
Yeah, let me get one of the Brooklyns.
All right. So explain this beer to me again, as you said it earlier.
All right, so I figured since we had Oktoberfest beers all throughout the Oktoberfest season, I figured it's spooky season. It's the PSL season, the pumpkin spice latte season.
Right.
So why not grab a pumpkin beer? I hate pumpkin beers, but I've never had a bad beer from Brooklyn Brewery.
Okay.
So I picked this up one time strictly because of the label of that it was Brooklyn, and it's, in my opinion, the most unoffensive pumpkin beer that I've had.
I actually went to Brooklyn Brewery once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I spent the weekend up in Brooklyn, and we went over to the Brooklyn Brewery. It was kind of cool. Had some
very
beers there.
hipster-ish of you.
It was. I you want to pop mine open too? I had a few of the beers there. Got a T-shirt. It was cool. It was a cool little brewery. We did like the little walking tour. They had like a full-fledged tour, but it was like a 3-hour wait to do that. But you could do like a solo walking tour, so we did that. Do you need a beer, or are you okay?
I have beers here, actually.
You have beers?
Hold on.
Okay.
I'm going to grab one of them bitches right there.
All right. So there you go. So in regards to pumpkin beers, I haven't
I say
sipped this yet.
I'm smelling it. And I got that pumpkin spice scent, and I'm really hoping that they didn't fuck with it since the last time I've had it, which was a couple years ago.
I don't hate pumpkin beers.
See, my problem with pumpkin beers is that it's always like slap you in the fucking face with pumpkin, and I don't care for that.
Well, it's funny. That's
this-
actually one of the things I like about the Sam Adams Jack O.
I see. That's what before we recorded, Tom was just specifically
slapped in the face with pumpkin.
Yeah.
specifically saying how he hates that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, Jacko, I don't like. I love the Flannel Fest one, and I love
the
the
Flannel Fest is good.
One
Yes.
of my favorite beers.
Yes.
But I do not like. I don't like the beers, the pumpkin beers that are like super much. They're way overstated when it comes to the nutmeg, the coriander, the cloves, the mace, like that kind of shit. I don't enjoy that.
Okay.
A little bit goes a long way with that stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So
I say when I first had this, it was very much like, hey, they're like this. They may have stored this
No,
6-pack
this is-
next to a pumpkin at one point.
yeah, no, this is nice. This is light. It's got like a sweet finish on it. But this is not. That's not overwhelming. It's almost like, you know what this tastes like to me? Pumpkin bread. Like if I was eating pumpkin bread
think
but
I've ever-
drinking it, this would be.
I don't think
it.
I've ever had
Yeah,
pumpkin
yeah.
bread. There's a British beer. I think it's British. It's literally just called banana bread,
Yeah. I've
and
heard it.
It is fucking fantastic.
it's really fucking good. I got it. It's a linear lock. But
Smart enough. So.
it's a weird. I think we talked about it before. With the I can't remember what we talked about it with.
Eagle Road Brewery, maybe.
Yeah, something.
It's fantastic.
But it's one of those things where if you ever had a Snapple apple, you drink it and you get the mouthfeel of as if you like that weird dry sensation of you just ate an apple.
Okay.
You get the same like I just ate a big piece of fucking like dry bread when you have that banana bread beer. It's fucking strange.
That still looks. Sorry, I had to check the
No,
phone.
it's fine.
I just needed to refresh his phone. We're still. Is that over yet, by chance?
No.
No.
Bottom 8.
Bottom 8. Okay. All right. All right.
The Phillies are getting mowed down quick, and the Braves are making up the distance.
All right. All right.
I was telling Katie before we recorded.
Oh, but this real quick. This is like what how you're saying, like with Snapple Apple Net,
Yeah.
that like that's what this reminds, except like it feels like I'm like drinking like a pumpkin bread.
There's another pumpkin beer which I don't mind, fairly local, in Ewing, New Jersey. River Horse
Yep.
makes a Hippo Lantern.
Okay.
And hit the River Horse is another one where I've never had a bad beer from them.
Okay.
So if you don't like super in your face pumpkin beers, try Brooklyn's Post Road, and try River Horse's Hippo Lantern.
So our friends over at Neshaminy Creek have actually put out a pumpkin beer this year.
Did they?
Yeah.
So we have to get it so we can continue to suck Neshaminy Creek's dick.
Yes.
And as you say it, Tom's mixing this drink with a Neshaminy Creek glass, if I'm not mistaken.
They are friends of the bar that I work at. We have several of their beers on tap.
Yes.
They're excellent.
Very nice. So those were my two close encounters. This is good. Those were my two close encounters with Elvis Costello, but I have a third one where I was, when I was in the movie industry, one of the things that we did is we actually put like the you'll see them all the time on, like, now you see them on like Blu-rays and DVDs of like concert footage from like Eagle Rock Entertainment, which is part of Universal Music Group. So we put into theaters Elvis Costello Detour live from the Liverpool Philharmonic Hall, and featured the band Larkin Poe. So I was the trafficking manager for the U.S. theatrical release of that movie. Which I remember when we were talking about, like, is what we would do is like they would. Did you break
Apologies. I didn't break
it?
anything.
Oh, okay.
Go back to what you were doing.
He's a fucking professional, Paul. Don't you dare fucking
I know.
suggest that he
I know.
broke something.
What was I thinking? But what we would do is like like whatever our year would be, like beginning of our year, we would sit there and we'd talk about all the projects that we either had already confirmed or were possibly confirming, or hey, do we even want to do this? And it was like this big like meeting with everybody, and they always invited me to it, and I really had very little to say until this popped up. I'm like, we gotta fucking do that Elvis Costello. We gotta do Elvis Costello, and we ended up doing it. I will say that when we did it, I was actually a little underwhelmed by the concert, but it was still cool to do. And then, like, you know, when you're dealing with stuff where, like, you know, you're doing, you know, fucking a 4-hour Russian play in Russian, to then turn around and do an underwhelming Elvis Costello concert was like a relief.
That was, if I'm not mistaken, the 4-hour-long Russian play was the one where there was something fucked up about
at
it.
The very end.
At the very end.
At the very fucking end, yeah. Fucking, I fucking sat half a day through that, man.
I was just looking over Paul's shoulder, and that is a far more delightful color than that just looks like straight up lemonade. But
it does.
There are you can see in the frame in the bottom corner there is just like a fuck ton of lemon halves in that cup right there. So
oh yeah, right down there. I'm pointing to the wrong thing. Nice milk lemonade around the corner. Fudge gets made.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm not.
Oh, and he's rimming. Oh. You rimming son of a bitch.
Tom's all about doing a rim job, aren't you, Tom? Tom and the rim jobs.
Yes, we're gonna have to get me a different name, by the way, because every time you tell your friend Tom to go fuck himself, my daughter thinks you're talking to me.
Oh, do you think your daughter knows me well enough to know that I wouldn't tell you to go fuck yourself? Or
probably would, but that's okay.
Yeah. I'll say, speaking of your daughter, there's some
there's
some tabs for you.
Some tabs there for you. All right. So what do we have here again? This is a
Sybarite.
Sybarite.
Fuck yes.
Which is
that smells delightful.
Oh wow, yeah.
So it is gin, lemon juice, and it calls for Cointreau, but I'm not. I don't got that kind of money, so we're using triple sec.
Yeah, same thing.
So orange liqueur, gin, and fresh lemon juice, shaken with ice, topped with a little bit of ginger ale, which sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It could be gross because gin doesn't always have to be fun, but
because gin can be gross.
Yeah. This is dangerous.
Gin tastes like Christmas tree sometimes.
This is like a lemon Christmas tree. No, this is dangerous. This is dangerous for me because I could sit there and I could drink this all fucking day and all night.
I could see Elvis Costello drinking these.
Yeah,
Tom's not liking it.
It's okay. It's okay. I like I said, I'm very particular about gin.
Yeah.
And Tanqueray is not one of the gins that I prefer. However, Tanqueray makes a product called Tanqueray 10, which I love. And they make one called Rangpur, which is outstanding as well.
Rancor?
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Yes.
Star Wars.
Yeah, the one that Luke fucking murders with the door.
That's right.
Did I ever tell you the story how my older son is a fan of all things?
Wait, real quick. What do you like?
Oh,
to drink?
It's growing on me.
I love it.
It's I have a hard time with gin.
This would be better. I think this would be better with different gin. I just grabbed that because that's what I had.
Yeah.
Or that was what was available to me to steal from the bar that I work at.
This is like a good. Hopefully, he doesn't watch this episode, or he does. Fuck him.
I mean, I'll put the $6 in the register when I work on fucking Wednesday. It's not a big deal.
This is like we're in October, so it's like now fall, and Ottsville, skips fall and goes right to fucking winter. So this is like a good summer drink. Then.
Yeah.
Like fucking hot summer day, sitting there.
It reminds me. I forget what we talked about. You know what it was? It was the one with the fucking Pims on the Smiths episode.
Yeah.
It reminds me of this would be like a signature drink at a wedding that took place in the summer.
Yes, I could see that too. Yep. So you were saying your son?
My older son is a big fan of animals, all things creatures. He has a book of he has the book from the Harry Potter world, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which is basically literally just like the textbook that they use
that's cool.
in the world. And he loves all the Star Wars creatures. So we were bribing him when we were potty training him for Phillies lost.
No, the bullpen just gave up the booty in the 8th inning.
What's the score?
5-4 Braves.
Jesus. We would bribe him with stickers that then led to stuffed animals when we were potty training him. So he has a stuffed animal Wampa, a stuffed animal Tauntaun, and a stuffed animal Rancor. And I said, I'll play the opening part of Empire for him so he can see a Tauntaun and a Wampa. And then I went, I'll play the opening part of Jedi for him so he can see a Rancor, forgetting that the Rancor eats a Gamoran guard.
Yep.
And I had to, he saw this, and it was almost like you could see the shift in his face of just, from enjoying this fucking creature that he knows and loves to just sheer terror of it eating something that looks like another animal.
It looks like a pig.
Yeah, and then I think he had nightmares for 2 nights, and I wasn't allowed to show him Star Wars anymore.
Yeah.
So, but I think I've shown him that scene again. He was also, I think, 3 or 4 when this happened. I think he'll be 9 in 2 weeks. So I've shown him it since, I think, and he was fine. But it was a rough 2 nights when his mom came home, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm like I'll wake up with him when he has fucking nightmares, and she's like, what did you do?
That's great. That's great.
Just fucking showed him Jedi, man.
Yep. And that is why she unfriended you on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's why.
Yes. So back to
I keep it all I smell is lemon, but then all I get is gin.
Yeah, the gin really powers through because that's a significant amount of lemon juice for a drink too. And I mean, there's essentially 1 ounce of lemon juice in that drink, 1.5 ounces of gin, and the gin just breaks right through.
Yeah. It does. Well, it's
Again, it's the type. I think it would be better with a smoother gin, but Tanqueray's not known for being smooth.
Can I see the book there, sir?
You and I've been meaning to try. Speaking of gins, fairly local brewery, Dogfish Head. Makes
Delaware?
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes a Delaware. I'm pretty sure it's Delaware.
Delaware.
Yeah.
I get them confused with Flying Fish, which is Jersey,
Cherry
which
Hill.
is South
Yeah.
Jersey.
Yeah.
That's why I was a little mixed
But
up. too,
Dogfish Head makes a gin. And I've been curious to try it because I like Dogfish Head beer.
They make several vodkas too. I see them.
Oh,
on
do
the
they?
shelf.
I haven't
It's-
seen those.
Making vodka and gin is essentially the same process.
I know.
It's
I'm not a huge gin person, and I'm not a huge vodka person either. So,
Which leads me to believe, since they started putting out gin and vodka, I believe that they're going to release a whiskey soon. Because distilleries, you have to age the whiskey for so many years.
Yeah.
But you can sell gin today.
Right.
And so a lot of distilleries pay the bills selling gin while they age the whiskey. I would assume maybe in the next year or two you'll see a Dogfish Head will have a whiskey on the market.
I'll definitely fucking try that.
Well, one thing I will say too about
there
this,
was
the sandwich. Yes, the
there was
Booze
a
and Vinyl
sandwich.
Volume 2 by
It was-
Andre Darlington and Tanaya Darlington.
The most complicated fucking
Yeah.
sandwich I've ever seen, which I would have made, but I would have needed half of a day today to shop and
Yeah,
prepare.
no, it's all good. There's actually a sandwich, a vegetarian, sandwich you can make to go along with the album called a Costello Club. I'm actually really glad we didn't do this anyway, because personally, I fucking hate avocados. I don't
like
know how
them.
anybody else feels.
I don't
about
mind them. I don't actively hate them, but
I've never liked them. I don't really like guacamole either. I don't mind avocado if it's in my sushi. But other than that, I'm not big on it.
someone turned me that I used to work with turned me onto this, where all they literally do is they take an avocado and then they mix it in a bowl with Frank's Red Hot, and then they just put it on saltine crackers.
Oh.
And it's fucking good.
Okay, I might try that. I
can get behind that, but
overall, I would say my review of the drinks from the Elvis Costello Attractions this year's model, which is featured on Booze and Vinyl Volume 2 by
Jesus.
Andre Darlington.
it's like you're trying to pronounce Tom's last name over here.
and Tanaya Darlington. Overall, very good drinks there. The root beer float was delicious.
Yeah.
I think I like this better than you two do.
Yeah,
I like it. I just had to wait for the ice to melt a little bit, I think.
Okay, but
that's why I've been kind of swirling mine to kind of get it to speed up a
I
little
like
bit.
it. First, it doesn't smell like fun at first, so it's as the ice melts, it's kind of mellowing it out a little bit.
yeah.
I don't hate this drink. I don't see me like I'm not going to drink these for fun, but I mean, I'll
See,
have one.
It just looks like
I
fucking
just don't want to
lemonade.
make it because that actually looked like a lot of work.
It wasn't.
No?
Well, because I didn't bring a knife. I'm usually generally pretty prepared. I forgot my knife and cutting board, and
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right.
not every day is an A+ effort, unfortunately.
But yes, Booze and Vinyl Volume 2. I picked my copy up on Amazon, so you can look that up. I'm sure it's probably available at other fine bookstores. So check that out. Great recipe, great book. That is my official book review of this recipe here. So, Adam, you got anything else to say about this album? You're besides meh.
I just wanted to see how much. Oh, so Volume 1 is $15.99.
I just
Volume
had a beer.
2 is $14.24.
Oh, nice.
They have a Booze and Vinyl Christmas.
Whoa, that's new.
They have a Booze and Vinyl Christmas for $26,
Oh.
which now I know what Paul's getting for Christmas
There
from
you
it.
go. There you
I know
go.
what Paul's getting for Christmas. Yes.
All right. Crabs?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, okay.
But this one, I fear for the Darlingtons because Booze and Vinyl Christmas only has Andre Darlington's name on the cover.
Oh, no.
She got tired of the fucking absinthe
Yeah.
drinks.
I know.
Pieced out.
Okay. So we'll have to look. Oh, man. Wait a minute.
Are you saying that Andre killed Tanaya?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hey, yo,
Allegedly.
rest in peace, Tanaya.
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 We do hope that there's nothing wrong with Tanaya Darlington.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I think
I'm
Tom.
just saying, we have a Christmas episode coming up.
I know.
But anyway, go on.
Yeah, trust me. It's probably gonna be arriving to my house in 2 days because of Prime. Maybe I'll save it till tomorrow because it's Prime Day.
There you go. There you go. Throw this back up here real quick.
I think Tom said it best. It's not bad. I don't see myself putting it on. I see myself adding Veronica to the playlist that I play all the time.
All right. Understandable.
But I don't see myself putting on this full album again.
Okay. All right. Tom?
Yeah. It's just fucking weird album, man.
I see myself drinking that root beer float again. Though. That was fucking good.
I didn't hate it. I didn't like it. I didn't love it. I was kind of very much meh, like he said.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Okay.
A couple songs I liked, several songs I didn't. For by and large, though, for the entire album, I was just completely indifferent. They all sounded alike to me.
Okay.
Or not all, but you know what I mean. Majority of the albums or the songs sounded just like every other song.
Yep. Well, like I said,
It's like listening to Frank Sinatra
that's pretty accurate.
or Rob Zombie.
I do. Oh, fucking. You know what I actually love? I love those like little things you see with memes or like the videos where they'll take like a song and they'll put it to like something it doesn't belong to.
Oh,
and one of my favorite things is the Rob Zombie thing with the fucking Matilda musical.
Yeah, with Dracula.
Oh, I like the one where it's Dracula with the dance sequence. Ooh, the dance competition sequence from Greece.
Oh, I haven't seen
Yeah.
that. I
That
haven't seen that.
He was talking about the dance scene from
The-
Matilda.
from- yeah, that fits really
syncs
well.
up perfect. Yeah,
it's just like,
amazing.
oh my god, this is great. And then I've been seeing this one recently where it says Tom Jones performs System of a Down.
Oh, Jesus.
And like it just starts with him holding up the mic going, ah, and then he just does this crazy fucking dance in the music. And it is the fucking, because it's just like beautiful, because it's like, number one, like what the fuck are you doing, Tom Jones? Even like 1960, 1970 Tom Jones, like what is that? Who told you to dance like that? But it's just like so perfect, because it's just like and he's like it's like just this crazy dance. It's pretty.
It's like that video of John Lennon and Chuck Berry playing together, and Yoko Ono just comes in.
Yeah,
the
they cut her mic out.
The fucking look that Chuck Berry gets on his
Berry,
face
yes.
is like, this bitch.
I love that.
I'm going to fucking choke this bitch. Yeah,
I love that.
That's pretty good. So my final thoughts on the album, like I said, this is, especially going back and listening to it, this is a side one album.
Mm-hmm.
This is one where I probably don't listen to side two if Baby Plays Around is not on that side. Overall, like I know what song I would pull off of side one to put Baby Plays Around on, so I don't have to listen to side two at all. But I do like this album. Again, it had that hit song that is written by, you know, as much as I don't like the Beatles, it's one of the most prolific songwriters in the history of modern music. You know, I mean, Paul McCartney is, I don't like them, but there's a reason that the Beatles are the Beatles, right? I mean, there's a reason why everybody likes them and loves them. And,
Yeah.
you know, they're the most influential band of, you know, since they've come out or whatever, but it's what I really think. But, you know, I do get it. I do understand it. And that song that really turned me on to Elvis Costello was probably because of Paul McCartney too, you know, and his influence on that song. But yeah, like I said, it's a you know, one side album that, you know, like I again really am not that as into side two. Grew on me a little bit the more I listened to it over the last week, but still overall just kind of like I could stop after Tramp the Dirt Town.
So you don't really care for side two, but I'm very curious if a very special lady upstairs cares for
10
side
months
two.
old now.
10 months old.
10 months old.
How do they feel? How does Regina feel about
first-
side two of this album?
First of all, she feels like she wants to say daddy constantly, which I absolutely love. It's like constant dad, 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 dad. Like, so that's pretty awesome. Even though, like, you know, she might not be like trying to talk about me, but she is. So
Yeah.
I do love that. Katie and I were, and Regina we were driving today to the store, and this is the first time Katie really got to hear her in the car just going dad 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 dad. It was just like, it's great. I turned the music down just so I can hear her talk. But at any rate, so the Regina factor on this album is a solid dislike. Yeah. It is a dislike. She tolerated.
Fucking love that kid.
She tolerated this album up until the song Chewing Gum.
Okay.
Then she started yelling at me straight Sam Kinison style, like, hey, hey, you, hey, and would not stop until I put on Hairspray.
Yeah.
I did try playing this. That was the first time I played it for her, too. And you could tell she was tolerating it because she was like,
Isn't that like the fourth song on the record?
nah, it's like the fifth. It's
Fifth?
on the
Okay.
first side.
Yeah, I know it's on the first side.
Yeah, it is on the first side. But no, I mean, like until I turned on Hairspray, and as soon as I turned on Hairspray, she was like, all right, cool, we're good now. I did try playing this for her a couple more times, and you could just tell she would like shift like uncomfortably.
Chewing Gum is number 6.
Okay, there you go. She would shift uncomfortably in her seat there because she really it's a solid dislike. So that brings me with the Regina factor up to 8 likes and 3 dislikes, and Adam at 7 likes and 2 dislikes and 6 indifference across the board there. So yeah. So Adam, top 3 songs.
I'm gonna start off with my half.
Okay. Oh yeah, you only have like 2.5.
Oh, I had 2.5, and then I made it 3.5.
You did make it 3.5. Okay.
So my half is just the way he pronounces the word piano in this town.
Okay.
Piano. Fuck him.
Paul trying to read the word piano.
Yeah.
Reads like him, sounds like him, sings like him.
Whatever, Bernard.
Yeah. So right off the top, the first like 4 times I listened to the album, the only song I could remember from the album was Veronica.
Okay.
So Veronica's at the top of the list.
Okay.
After a few listens, and I finally remembered another song from the album, Tramp the Dirt Down would be on the list as well.
Okay, good song.
And then today on the way up here, I established a third, and that's Baby Plays Around.
Good song.
Yeah. So Veronica, Tramp the Dirt Down, Baby Plays Around.
All right, Tom, what do you got?
The exact same 3 that he just said.
Oh, wow.
In that order.
In that order, okay.
Most of the song.
And even piano, the way he says piano.
Most of the songs on that, like the whole, like you were saying, pretty much the entire B-side. Mm-hmm. Like the last 3 songs.
Yeah. No,
you could have swapped the order, and I couldn't tell you the one song from the other unless he says the name of the fucking song.
Yeah,
they're so identical.
That was one that, like, too, and again with that, like, Last Train Leaving, which I believe is the last song on the album.
That's the
Last Boat Leaving.
Last Boat Leaving. Sorry. That's the song that, like, as I was listening to this again, that's the one that grew on me. But me with Elvis Costello, I actually like the deep tracks of Elvis Costello.
I didn't hate side B. I just thought, I was like, this is the same song 5 times, and then Baby Plays Around, which was kind of didn't fit with the second side at all.
I see. Yep.
But every song on that, like, after a while, I'm like, is this finally the instrumental? Because I love the instrumental, but yeah, they were so similar. The Last Boat Leaving, the fucking Cole one, the one right before that, like
Coltrane Robberies.
I couldn't tell you those songs apart. They were so similar.
Yep. So when listening to this album, Baby Plays Around comes on, and then followed by that is Miss Macbeth. And I went, oh, this is the last song on the album.
Nope.
And then Any King Shillings come on. I'm like, oh, no, that's right. This is the last song on the album.
What's funny
and then fucking Coltrane Robberies comes on. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then fucking Last
5 songs more than there need to be on this album.
I will say this, when I first, because it was like 1989 when this came out.
Yeah.
When I finally, actually, I borrowed a copy of the tape from Apology Tom.
Oh, okay.
And I had that copy for probably about 6 months, and I remember listening to it. And so you got to think, like, at that point, it's like the early 90s. And I'm sitting there wondering, why the fuck is Elvis Costello singing about Kurt Schilling, who was the pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies at the time? Yeah. So is that final?
Good-sized wolf spider over there.
Oh, is there? Yeah, we've got. Oh, yeah, there he is.
He's just chilling right there.
Yeah. It's not the biggest one I've had in here.
No. He's about the size of an Oreo cookie.
Yeah.
I've seen bigger ones.
Is that a final by chance?
Not yet. Top 9. There's one out. Harper got walked to lead off the inning.
All right, cool.
The size of an Oreo cookie is the
approximately.
That's approximately that
approximately
size.
an Oreo cookie.
So my top 3 here. I actually put Veronica as an honorable mention, which I had to mainly because, like I said, it's what introduced me to Elvis Costello in general. But it's not actually my top 3 favorite songs in the album. My number 1 is Deep Dark Truthful Mirror.
Okay,
fucking love that song. God's Comic, which is actually
that was gonna be my least favorite song,
which is pretty amazing when it's played live. I've seen him do it, like, both times I saw him live. He played God's Comic. Oh, which, by the way, but another time I wanted to see him go live or play live. I haven't done it since like '94 because the tickets just get, in my opinion, for a band that I've already seen twice.
Yeah,
I'm not paying stupid money. If it's either a really good venue or the money's not, like, he did play the Parks Excite Center, which I actually did almost get tickets for because I'm like, I would fucking love to see him there because it's a pretty small venue.
It's a small venue.
Yeah.
But we had something else going on that night, so we ended up not doing it. But like, that was like, I was like, I'll pay $60 to see him there.
What?
But the concert that I actually did want to go see him at, he was touring, this is a few summers back, I want to say 2018 or 2019, summer of that year. He was actually touring with Blondie.
Oh.
Which actually Katie went to that concert over in Camden. So I would have actually liked to go and see that because it was with Blondie, and then again at the Parks. But like overall, like he would have to come to Parks again or like a smaller venue for me to say like I want to go, like, because I've already seen him twice. It's like I love him. I love seeing him, and he is influential. But do I want to pay a lot of money to see him at a venue that's like fucking giant? That like he played the Met not that long ago. I didn't even look at tickets for that. I was like, fuck it.
No.
But at any rate, that's my number 2 of 3 is God's Comic.
Is God's Comic the one that's like, no, I'm dead?
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
God's Comic was well, like that verse or that hook, whatever the fuck you want to call it, reminded me of something else, and that's the only reason why I even considered that song.
All right.
But then the more I listen to it, I'm like, fuck God's Comic.
And then my number 3 is with the same with you guys is Baby Plays Around.
Yeah.
Great song. I actually, so as you know, I don't know if you know, I was involved with like community theater for a little while. And there's this theater in that's actually in the Chamonix State Park called the Playmasters.
Yes.
And I was assistant directing a play before they would let me direct a play on my own. I had to be an assistant director, and I was assisting this guy who was very good guy for me to learn from too.
Was it Bob Clover?
It was Bob Kohler, yes. And
It was
Actually-
Cricket from It's Always Sunny.
I follow Playmasters on Instagram.
Yeah.
And they recently posted something about how they're having auditions for something that
yes,
Bob Clothier
he's
is directing.
yes. But no, very good actor, very good director, and like I said, it was the perfect person for me to assist.
Good high school teacher?
A good high school teacher, apparently. I didn't have him in high school.
Yeah, he taught at Ryan.
Yes,
I think,
he did.
so.
He did. But at any rate, we were doing a thing, and in one scene, I was like, "Dude, you should put this Elvis Costello song in there." He's like, "I don't know about that." And I was like, "Just fucking let me play it for you." And he's like, "Our crowd doesn't really get modern music." I'm like, "No, just trust me on this." And I played it, and it like,
There's a lot of walkers in the crowd.
yes. And he listened to it, and he like, listened to the lyrics. He's like, "Okay, cool, we'll put that in." So yeah, so I put Baby Plays Around in between like scene changes, so that was kind of cool. So yeah, so those are my 3: Deep Dark Truthful Mirror, God Comics, and Baby Plays Around.
Did you ever get to direct something by yourself?
I did.
What did you direct?
I directed Foles, Neil Simon's Foles.
Oh, okay.
Did I direct 2 shows there? I know I directed some community theater. I did direct 2 shows there. Actually, Foles was the second thing I directed. As like a main stage thing. I forget what the other fucking thing was. It was a funny show though. Weekend something or other. Weekend at Bernie's. No, it wasn't Weekend at Bernie's. It was some, I don't know, whatever. It was cool.
I often like the reason why I started following them on Instagram is because I saw something about it. I can't remember what it was, but I think I may have actually. I was at the Chamonix State Park, and I walked past Playmasters,
Right.
And I was like, oh, I wonder what they're fucking up to, and I remember as a kid, our dad did a bunch of shows there. Paul did some shows there and directed some shows there, and I remember going and building sets.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm sure they wouldn't mind like if I showed up
Oh no, they
and just
wouldn't at
fucking
all.
built set.
Yeah.
Like I'm like I have my tools in my car. I'm
Yeah.
like I'll just show up with my own fucking drone driver and I'll fucking help.
And they would probably be like, "Who's this guy?" And
Yeah,
they would like, "Oh, you can do that. Cool."
I'd walk in and be like, remember that fucking kid that used to sell fucking candy with spiky hair?
Yeah.
Fucking me.
That's me. Yep. So Adam, real quick, can I turn you on to a nice Mexican beer?
We've had Tecate before. And I
I
told
know.
you I liked it. I will
but
take.
I just want to see how racist you're gonna.
No,
be
I will
today.
take a Tecate because I do enjoy it. When you said that you had bought it, I was like, oh, good. And I was like, why the fuck did he buy Tecate?
Because
for...
I needed it with the chili.
And then I read that you needed it for the chili, so
You know,
it made sense.
Here's what I'll say with chili. Actually, Tom, maybe you can tell us: is chili a traditional like Mexican meal?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay, I didn't think so either, because like I feel like
Chili seems to me like how.
It just to me it just screams Southwest. But
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
know.
To me, it seems like you go to a Chinese restaurant in America and get General Tso's chicken.
right.
It seems like the bastardized white man version of a Mexican dish.
Well, like I will just say, because the like
that-
when I made this like the Mr. and Mrs. Tenderman stew or Tenderman chili, it felt like it was more like a pork stew than it was a chili. Which is why I was because
I mean, you really are stewing. That is so. The cooking process of stewing is a dry heat. It's a combination cooking method where you're using dry heat, like you're searing something, and then you're going to put liquid in it to also, like, braise it. But it's a stovetop version. That is stewing.
okay,
Yeah. So sort of.
all right. It was good.
Food
Don't-
historians speculate that chili originated in Texas-Mexico border towns.
Okay,
and
all
spread
right,
north.
all right. So then
Yeah,
that would make
it's
sense. Okay.
Same idea.
I think I just learned tonight for the first time, Tom, that you said you went to culinary school.
I did. I'm
Which
a
is why I
fancy
asked.
special boy, and I went to culinary school.
I'll say you're a very interesting person, because not only are you an expert bartender, but when I first met you, you told me you were a medic with Philly Fire, or
No.
medic with
in New Jersey.
Jersey. And you also
I
went
rode
to
the
culinary
ambulance
school
for a long time, and then I was a fireman for 23 years as a volunteer. I worked per diem as a firefighter. I worked per diem as an EMT. I did a lot of. I always had 2 or 3 jobs. And then
that's what I used
when
to
I was
tell
about
people.
30, I was like, I want to go back to college, and I went to culinary school.
No, I used to tell people, when you work in healthcare, a lot of times, like modern healthcare, no one hires full time; they hire part time, especially in EMS.
Absolutely.
So you
as soon as you injure your back, they're like, "Great, you're fired."
every EMT or medic that I've ever known has had at least 4 jobs at one time.
Yeah, I would work for 3 different towns at the same time.
Yeah.
Yep.
I knew guys who worked for. When I was an EMT, I worked as an ER tech. I volunteered on an ambulance. I worked as an EMT. In running Sesame Place's first aid station. Like every single person in EMS I know has at least a handful
Absolutely,
of jobs.
and
going
that's
at one
how I
time.
would get other jobs, because I'd work with, like, I work per diem in this town with the
Yeah.
guy who's the chief of the other town.
Yeah.
and he's like, "Hey, I
say
can use some guys."
That's how I got my in on the ambulance. Was my boss at Sesame Place's husband ended up being my chief at the ambulance.
I was
So-
also a volunteer EMT, so
Yeah.
I and my hometown had a volunteer first aid squad until 2006. Rest in peace, Squad 129 in Lawrence Township, New Jersey. When 3 jerk-offs decided to get the building closed, and then they went all career. It's all paid now in my town. But I did work per diem there for years, but I missed the volunteer stuff. That was fun, because I'm from there. Like, I gave a shit what
Yeah.
happened there.
Yeah.
It's awesome. That, ladies and gentlemen, is why you need to have union representation.
We were volunteers. There's no union. Volunteers.
Least favorite song?
I'm gonna take the easy route on this. Like I said, this album was very.
I
To
know
me-
where you're going, and
to me-
I think you're absolutely fucking wrong. But
To
go
me,
on.
it was unoffensive and unremarkable. And I'm trying to go in that same vein where you said where your least favorite still makes you feel something. And aside from my top 3 and the word piano in this town, this album didn't make me feel anything. So I went with the easy route and just wrote Stalin Malone.
See, that's such a fucking cop out, because
It is,
number one, it's actually a really
just
good.
admitted that it's a
I know,
cop-out.
but
I'll be the first to tell you it's a cop out, but
it's actually a really good instrumental.
It is a good one. I like
It's
that.
and apparently, and I didn't even realize this because I was reading. I got to look at the sleeve. Apparently, there's actual words for Stalin Malone, but they
Luckily,
just
he
but for
spared
whatever
us
reason
from
they just did the they're apparently printed on the inner sleeve
interesting.
with the lyric inner sleeve.
Yeah,
but no, it's actually a really good
I mean,
instrumental.
if you
I
want
liked
to
it,
you want to pick something besides the instrumental, like I said, with
Anything from side B.
you could literally throw a dart at
Like,
I won't disagree with you.
yeah,
Yeah.
throw a dart at Miss Macbeth, any King Shillings, Coltrane Robberies, and Last Boat Leaving.
Okay.
And that's my least favorite. But like I said, this album, it just didn't.
Okay. That's fair.
It took me 6 listens to remember more than one song.
That's fair. That's
So-
fair. All right. Tom, least favorite?
I'm kind of with Adam on this one too. Like, I like the couple songs that I liked. I can tolerate the rest of the album. There's nothing I really hate. I don't know that I have a least favorite. I would say that I would, if I gun to my head, I gotta pick one. I'm gonna say Chewing Gum or the fucking any King Shilling.
Okay. All right. I would agree with you there. Except I do go with, I'm right there with Regina, Chewing Gum.
Okay.
Because
That's where she lost it on the
That's
album.
where she lost on the album. But I didn't disagree with her when she lost it, because that's always been my least favorite song on that album.
And you said it a second ago. I'm assuming Chewing Gum is obviously the song you would take off side one.
That's exactly. That's the
plays-
one.
Baby
If
Plays
I
Around.
could take Chewing Gum off of side 1 and put Baby Plays Around there, I wouldn't have to ever listen to side 2.
You just flip. Yeah, you don't even have to flip the album.
So
Right.
so that's where I am on that. So
Okay.
yep. So do we have anything else to say about this album besides you guys are like
Probably
eh.
never gonna listen to it again.
The
so
album-
yeah, whatever.
The cover is kind of unsettling.
It is a little.
Yeah,
unsettling.
he's a odd-looking man.
Speaking of which, would you mind handing that to me, sir?
I do like the Argyle
Yes,
behind it. But,
it is cool. So this is my copy here. Now, you would ask me. I don't remember if you did this while we were recording or afterwards.
yes.
You would ask me, where did I get this?
So on the protective sleeve, it says Elvis Costello Spike 10 yard.
yeah, I don't know what the yard means.
Okay, that's what I was curious of.
Yeah,
Is what it meant by yard.
That I do not know what the yard means, but I did pay $10 for this record. I was Katie and I in. I guess it was 2020. Yeah, I guess it was 2020. I know. Katie and
Now
I.
he's disrespecting Mexicans.
I know. I almost spilled my beer. You guys didn't see it because my computer's blocking it. Katie and I went down to Virginia to visit Sean from the Unholy Four.
So is that
and
Sean
his
of the
girlfriend.
Unholy Four?
Yes, and his girlfriend Emily. And they
What was the name? You mentioned the name of their company 2 episodes ago.
Moonrise
Moons
Salvage
over
and
Miami?
Surplus.
Moonrise Kingdom,
Yes,
starring
yes.
Edward Norton.
No, Moonrise Surplus and Salvage, or Salvage and Surplus. Oh, look, there you go. There you go. Listen, on the back cover, Stalin Malone. There are lyrics. It's actually on the back cover there,
And
so.
it's weirdly highlighted
It
as
is.
well.
It is. So so there you go. Lyrics reprinted with permission. There you go.
Very hipsterish of him to have a sing your own song on his album.
So yeah. So
You choose the melody.
Yes, we were down in Virginia, and we went to this antique shop that was down there, and they had one of the booths there was records, and we're looking around,
As
and
there always is.
as there always is, and I actually had never come across a vinyl version of Spike, and then like seeing
Your inner sleeve is a little funky.
that's okay. But then seeing that it was like $10, I'm like, fuck, I would absolutely pay $10 for this record. So
With a fucking cover like that, it's very it's
It
a,
is,
it's
it
a
is.
very unimpressive.
well, you got to
label.
think it came out in 1989, right as like vinyl was dying.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
True.
Everything was moving more towards CDs and cassettes and stuff like that. Don't do that. Do you need me? To
Oh
do
no
this?
no! I was like, why isn't it fitting? Because I was getting caught on the scene.
Yeah. So some of those things, especially from that time, like when you get into 89, 90, 91, it's actually
Your fucking record's sticking out the bottom of the thing.
I know.
It's fucking me up.
it is kind of difficult to find copies of certain records on
You got
vinyl.
you got splitting all over the inner sleeve. I don't think this is very good. Plus,
It's a fuck you. It's and plus the cover and the inner don't give it to me.
what do you?
The cover and the inner sleeve do not factor into the value of the record anyway. We've already discussed.
I thought it did.
does not.
It's good luck for you. It's good news
So-
for you and your fucking
Yeah.
flood
Yeah, my
damage.
fucking water damage bullshit.
No, if you are listing records for sale on Discogs, we have talked about this, right? So if you go on and you put in, there's a whole thing where you look up your pressing and you find your pressing, and it brings you to like a third section where you can then put in your condition notes, and you can actually set your condition. When you set that condition at Very Good Plus, it gives you an MSRP. If you put the cover, the sleeve condition, anywhere from generic, poor, fair, and then all the way up to mint, the value does not change. So ultimately what you are grading on Discogs is the vinyl. The
physical
vinyl
record
is
itself.
what is important as far as coming up with the suggested retail price. However, in reality, some people care about the cover. I'm one of those people who doesn't care as much about the cover. There are some people who are like, I don't care if you have a fucking record that sounds like fucking God made this record.
Can I pause you for a second?
Yes.
Katai just texted me, and I don't know the answer to the question, but you guys will. If the Phillies lost, does that mean they're out?
No.
It's
It's
a
the
best
series
of
is
five.
it's a best of 5, first of 3. Game 3 is Wednesday in Philadelphia.
Yep. And
series
game
is tied
4 is
1-1.
Thursday. Yes. I
And the
think
Phillies
this,
did lose. It's over.
that's all right. But I think this series is going 5 anyway. Listen, here's the
I
thing.
don't think it's going back to.
You don't think it's
I don't
going
think
back?
it's going
Okay,
back
well
to
that would be even better. I think the Phillies.
You saw
I think the Phillies are winning it.
Atlanta fans are just not.
They're
There's
fucking
empty
jerks.
seats.
Yes.
They're just not.
They don't
there.
deserve it.
Philly, that stadium is going to be shaking on
Yep.
fucking Wednesday.
Yep.
I can't
Yeah.
wait
No.
for the Braves to try to play in that.
And here's the thing, man. Like, not for anything. Yes, the Phillies had what, like 90 wins.
Yeah.
The Atlanta Braves had like 105.
104.
104. You know what I mean? To think that the Phillies were going to sweep the Atlanta Braves is a little
I knew they were going to sweep
Yeah.
them.
No,
I knew
exactly.
I felt going into the series, if we take one in Atlanta, we win this series.
By the way, I love what your brother does.
yeah. Well, Kurt and I have
absolutely
been doing that for 15 years.
I
yeah.
absolutely love. So Tom's brother will sit there and like what did he have on Saturday? He had like Braves in
3.
Braves in 3.
Phillies win. He
Phillies-
immediately
yeah.
updates his Facebook status to say Braves in 4.
Exactly. So like and it took me saying like I remember last year during the playoffs I'm like what the fuck you because
Yeah.
I know like you're a Chicago Bears fan.
I still root for the Eagles too, but I love the Bears when I was a kid.
Right, and
I don't even know why.
and then your brother is
He's the
he?
same. No, he's the same.
okay.
We're Philadelphia fans all the way. We also root for the Bears.
All right, so like I'm just like fuck you guys, and then it took me a little bit. I'm like, I know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
Kurt's trying to jinx the Braves.
exactly.
That's all.
So
And
when I
it's-
saw it, I was like, fuck yeah.
It's been a
fuck
running
yeah,
joke
my
for years
fucking-
on Facebook with him and all his friends, and
Yeah.
like we always used to do it.
No, I think it's great. I think it's great. So at any rate, so I got my copy from an antique shop in Virginia while visiting Sean, and what I have is a 1989 SP pressing, which is technically a specialty pressing. It happens a lot with the Warner Brother records. Also, you actually see it a lot more on the Atlantic Records pressing. So like if you have a fucking Led Zeppelin 4 will be like SP dash these 4 numbers dash SP, like ST dash the 4 numbers dash SP, or sometimes it's a PR or it's an MI.
And this would be in the Dead Wax?
This would be it's actually on the label and in the dead wax.
okay.
And this one it's not in the label.
Because I have a copy of Led Zeppelin 4.
Yeah,
I wonder if mine
yep.
has SP in it.
Probably most of them were SPs. But you'll see like an RI or a MI. Like there'll be all sorts of different ones. But
a mitochondrial infarction?
exactly. But ultimately,
Not mitochondrial, myocardial.
Myocardial.
Yeah, slightly different, but yes.
I've been drinking. Tom.
I get
I've been
it.
drinking and I haven't been a practicing EMS member of society for 6 years
Infarction's
now.
a good fucking word, though.
Yeah, infarction is good.
but yeah, this is a SP pressing, but there's not anything particularly special about it.
I fucking
Its mom
knew that.
thinks it's special.
Yes.
Yeah.
My very good plus MSRP is $11.02, and that 2 cents helps me round up to $12 because we round up here
of shit.
at the Country Hipster Podcast, bringing my running total based on 14 records to $549.
Oh, and I'm looking at your notes and
To Adam's running total based on 12 records because of fucking Steel Train, $567, and you are $18 to the good. And if you see I'm leaning back here, you guys can't see what's going under the table, but like I am an old
you
fucking
shitting
diabetic.
your pants?
No, I'm pulling my hamstring here. Like I got a fucking Charlie horse on my hamstring. Like I bent my leg. I'm like, God damn it!
such an old man.
This is why I can't
Such a shitty old man.
Tell people to get off your lawn all of day.
I know.
Just a shitty old
But
man.
I tell you, this is why I can't do doggy style anymore. Yeah, it's like the fucking worst. At any rate, we got a box of Michael we got to pick to see if I can either. $18 is very doable unless we pick the one record, which I know is worth $2 in my collection. But maybe do I get the second hat trick, not including my 6 in a row? Tom, you're going to be picking it.
Oh, what an honor.
There you go. Dig deep, whatever side you want forward. From the box of Mike. Oh, God damn it.
Let's pretend I don't have a favorite Rush album. So we're going to go with Moving Pictures.
Does
forward.
anybody have a favorite Rush album?
I mean, Canadians.
Well, yeah.
Canadians and Mike.
And our brother Mike.
Brother Mike.
I actually don't
Oh, the
even know.
redhead likes Rush.
Does she?
She does.
Yeah, I knew there was something wrong with her.
They're not bad. I don't...
She's Canadian.
She might be secretly
All right.
Canadian.
Is this number 46?
Number 46 it is.
Number 46 it is.
Do you guys want to start a punk band called Secret Canadian?
Yes.
I can't play any instruments, so I'm going to have to be the Sid Vicious of the band.
This is blue.
Which means it's you.
It means it's you.
Oh.
Ooh.
What is
This
it?
is a good one. This album, okay, here's what I'm going to say. This album here is one of those ones that when we put our 25 records together, I went through Adams, and this one, I actually own a copy of this in my own personal collection and would have put this in my collection if you hadn't choose it. I had to pull it out.
The only album that I knew that you would have added if I didn't was 59 Sound. So
this is another one.
This is interesting. I didn't know
another
that.
They Might Be Giants. Flood.
Oh, fucking
There you
A.
go.
Nice.
There you go. It's a
Very
great
cool.
album. This is
There you go.
this is a really cool fucking album here. This is one that I am also very excited about. This is one that I think we have the possibility of.
I can't wait to tell my how I was
guest?
exposed to They Might Be Giants story.
Okay, all right. So yeah, so this is the next episode.
Ooh, sorry about that.
What's kind of cool is I also know that our director and
Director slash producer slash editor.
editor extraordinaire. I actually know that he loves this album as well.
Oh fuck! Whoever is potentially a guest on this episode, fuck them because we're having Jack on.
He won't come on.
I'll fucking get him drunk.
We'll talk to him about it, but like I don't know that he'll come on. But no, there is a possibility of some guests here on this one. Great
Dude,
fucking
my
album.
handwriting is fucking terrible.
It's
That's
atrocious.
an FL. What? That looks like a fucked up A
Yeah,
or
it
a
does.
fucked up H with
Yeah.
with a
Yeah, it's a
tilde.
pretty bad one.
All right,
Oh, something I've been meaning to tell you guys. I
Yes.
keep forgetting. It's fucking Terre Haute, by the way.
Terre Haute. Is that how you say it?
Yes, it's French. You should be able to pronounce this.
I don't fucking say it. He says it, and I
It's
just follow
French.
his lead.
You always pronounce the French words properly. It's Terre Haute. It literally fucking means the high ground.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know. That is good to know. Terre Haute. I've always been
High ground.
It's been bothering me since like episode 3, and I keep
Okay.
fucking forgetting to
But
mention
I've also admitted I'm probably not saying this right every time I say it.
I also told him that I was like, when you guys did the double episode when you were drinking the fucking
The
5 liter of Oktoberfest, I was yelling at the radio so much when you two morons are trying to do math and conversions, and I'm like screaming, I'm like, there's 33.8 ounces in a fucking liter.
Man, that I told everybody on that episode, you got to give us a little leadway on that one.
I'm gonna.
So, but no, that
I
was
was yelling at the radio so much while that episode was playing.
a lot of fun. But yes, so next week's episode is going to be They Might Be Giants Flood. I am really glad I have 2 former EMTs here because my leg is fucking killing me right now.
We're more into like acute shit. And that's more like a chronic thing.
Fuck you guys, I am cute. At any rate, that is what we got here.
Is up here in the sticks. You're fucking done for,
I am
buddy.
done for. I am.
Yeah,
I
you
am
go down
just-
here, you just fucking crawl into the grave out there.
That's
and
what I
you're
told
done.
Katie. Just fucking shoot me and put me in the back somewhere. All right. Do we have anything else?
No, I'm excited for They Might Be Giants.
I am excited about it too.
I'm
You,
probably
sir?
I'm probably gonna listen to They Might Be Giants on the way home tonight because I fucking
Nice.
I
Yeah.
forgot this was on my 25. Honestly.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's great.
Glad
This
you
is great.
guys invited me. Thanks for having me back.
Thank you, and we will have you back sooner than later, I am sure. And on that note, it is time to. Sorry.
You fucked it up. You fucked it up.
Hopefully, Jack doesn't fuck it up at the end. It is time to.